Now we are going to implement MVC step by step. So just I show what you can do here. After bootstrapping, you are inside the attach init, you are using something. Now the final motto using MVC also, we are going to display the same text using MVC. Now I don't have any MVC here. Now I am going to implement slowly. Now inside that web folder, I am going to create a new folder for my view part, designing part. So I will create a new folder that is called view. Okay, view, I create one folder. Inside that, okay, before that I have to discuss about different types of views available. So in UI5, we have different types of views. So view types. So you know what is the purpose of view? So it is responsible for the UI part. That means adding UI elements, all this will be taken care by this. So here, the first one is XML view. So you can design the view using XML, that is of type XML view. It ends with .view.xml. Okay, your HTML file ends with .html, or XML ends with .view.xml. Okay, and the second one is JavaScript view. And it also, I will keep in a bracket, otherwise you will confuse. Extension is this one, .view.xml. Second one is .view.js. It is of JavaScript. Okay, and the third one is HTML view. It also ends with .view.html. And the fourth one is JSON view. You can use the JSON notation for designing the view, and it ends with .view.json. Okay, the four types of views. So when UI5 came at 1.22 or 1.28 version, there is no concept of XML view. Only JavaScript we used to use. Now after that, SAP introduced XML views for the easy designing purpose. Okay, so that's why SAP recommends using XML views, because it is very easy to, it is of type declarative approach. That means you can easily identify the issue where it is if you get any syntax errors. But in JavaScript, if you want to identify, it will give problem. And also it is very easy to read. XML view is easy to read compared to JavaScript. Okay, that's why you will find the difference. Okay, now HTML, it is very complicated. Not complicated in the sense, when we talk about the performance, HTML is the best. And because, but writing HTML is a very problem with the syntaxes. So that's why nobody is preferring HTML now, JSON also. Mostly the first one we will prefer. Okay, sometimes some people may use JavaScript also, but we use XML here. Now here, when we go here, this is a JavaScript. If you want to declare one text with the hello world, this is a JavaScript. You write the same code in JavaScript view. Okay, but when we talk about XML view, how simple it is. See, I'm going to create a new file. New file, that is, I will write demo dot. You can give any name. So I think view name should start with capital letter. We have to talk about this with guidelines also. So you can create any name. They created app.do.xml. Okay, you can create anything. Okay, that is not a problem. So where is that web ID? Let me close all this. Okay, now you can get any name, but your view name starts with capital letter. You can give any name, demo, app, or anything, but we will give the app.view.xml. This is my XML view. Okay, I created here inside the view folder. Now, but when you write if you write HTML, you have some syntax rules: head, body, all these things. In XML also we have some rules for before starting that. So what are those rules? So this is the main part here. So when you talk here, I will explain what it is. So this is the basic syntax. The base syntax you will be available in XML view. So here, what is this MVC view? what is this XMLNS? What is this XMLNS MVC? So now when we go to demo kit, what is this MVC? sap.ui.core.mvc. When you go to API reference, sorry, I will take this. When you go to API reference, sap.ui.core.mvc. So this namespace, oh, sorry, it went sap.ui.core.mvc. And when you select this, here we have controller, HTML view, JSON view, JS view, XML view. Okay. So now this is the namespace which I am referring. Inside that we have all these things. So I am talking about XML view now here. So sap.ui.core. So this is my XML view, which is coming from parent is view. So what I have written it here, I have written it here view, the parent, sap.ui.core.view. Okay, view I have written, and this is what I am writing. The same one I am writing it here. A view defined using XML and HTML markup. So I am using this namespace. Okay, in this we have subclasses, some properties, events, methods, all these things. So just I am indicating my namespace here, and I am putting this alias name. You can not only MVC, you can keep anything ABC also. Okay, this alias name for my namespace. XMLS is nothing but XML namespace. That means if you are using sap.m, you have to mention sap.m. If you are mentioning sap.ui namespace, you can mention XMLNS is equal to sap.ui. That means you are defining the namespace of the controls which you are going to use in this view. That's it. Okay, now I'm using sap.m controls. That's why I put XMLNS namespace, and this is for my view part. Okay, this is the main object view. So that's why I kept view inside MVC view. I am defining this one. So this is the namespace. That means it's a package name. If you write any programming, if you want to import anything, you will write import statement and get it. And you in C language you will include slash include stdio.a something. So that means you are using those things, those library related things in your file. Here also you are going to use this sap.m and MVC related namespace related controls inside that namespace. You are going to. That's why I have mentioned it. Now after that, what we are going to do? We want to write some text here. How do you write the text? So this is the main thing. After that, simple. If you want to write any text, just text control with that property. See here inside that text is a control because text is inside sap.m. Okay, if I remove this, if I save it, instead of that you can write sap.m, that text, then only it will pick. Instead of, suppose if I want to use one more control, sap.m.button, okay, text is equal to something, and I ends with this. So instead of, if I use 100 controls, I want to prefix with sap.m. In order to avoid this type of things, globally I am mentioning my namespace. That's it. XMLNS is equal to, this is called global namespace of your view. Okay, that means whenever you use without any prefix of the namespace, it will pick it automatically from sap.m. Okay, so now I have added my text. Okay, now here I don't want to use this. I am going to delete this. I don't want, because this hello world text I have carried to my view part. Okay, for now I don't want all these things. I am going to comment it out. I'm not going to use. Okay, now I have written inside my view. Okay, if I run it, what happens? See, nothing got displayed and no errors also. Why? Because you have this is an independent file and this is an independent file. There is no link between these two files. See here, index.html is a separate file and this is also a separate file. There is no link between the two files. That's why this hello world text is not getting displayed. So in order to link this, we want to do one more thing. How to do include in the sense earlier. Okay. So in order to include this, we have some certain syntax. So earlier what we have written here, it is my code. Here I have written some new sap.m.text. Instead of that, what I am going to do now, I am going to use this view inside my index.html so that two will be linked. So how to link those two things in a sense? This is standard syntax. You have to remember. Okay, I am going to delete this now. I don't want now. I have sap.ui.xml view because you are choosing XML view. That's why I have written sap.ui.xml view. And view name is a standard property, and you have to pass the path to your view where it is inside demo, inside web app, and inside view folder. Okay, so why I have actually it is inside demo dot web app dot view dot app. You should avoid extension. You should not use view.xml when you are including somewhere. Just you can include directly without extension because you have already mentioned it is an XML view. Okay, so now if I load it, what will happen? We'll see. So now also it does not display because there is some linkage problem. See here it is looking for something and we have not. When you see the network tab, you may find this issue. It is not able to find that view or something. It is a failed. It is not able to find this. So that's why it is not able to find. We will figure it out. So now you have to tell the UI5 when the application is loaded, your all project resources are located in particular folder. How do you tell? Now you are mentioning demo.webapp. Something. It may search not only here, it may search in workspace also, or it may search for any other place also. That's why it is not able to find. Now what we are going to do, you are going to tell the UI5 search in this folder only for all the resources, for all my views, all my models, all my controllers in this path only. So how do you tell that to the UI5 is, we have the one configuration attribute data-sap-resource roots. That means the root path of your resources, you are going to mention it here. So in index.html, you are going to add one more configuration attribute that is called data-sap-ui-resource roots, and you are going to mention here the path to your resource roots. Okay, so what is my resource roots here? All my project resources are inside my web app. You have to tell that all my project resources are resources root folder is web app. Okay, now what I am mentioning here, instead of directly mentioning web app, what I have given some package or namespace name. So you can give UI5.demo, anything you can give. That means what I'm mentioning here. So here you have to understand this resource roots is very important. You definitely will confuse. That's why I am talking. I will open the command prompt. I want to tell you one basic thing. Now, if I go to change directory, it will take me to one more folder forward. If I use cd ... it will take me one folder backwards. Okay. Now, if you give cd ... it will remain in the same folder. That means dot means same folder. Dot means one folder backwards. Okay, that you have to remember. This is the basic part for this. Now what you are going to do with respect to index.html, I want to tell my UI5 application when it's loaded to the framework. I want to inform my framework that my project resources are located in the current folder only, because index.html is which folder? Web app. Okay, now with respect to index.html, I want to tell the framework that my all project resources, whatever it is, you may have 20 or 30 folders inside web app. You have to tell the framework that This is the root folder for all my resources. That means with respect to integrated HTML, what is the root folder? Current folder. What is that current folder? Web app, right? So that's why I'm mentioning dot slash or dot are same. So I'm mentioning dot slash current folder. So now I have given some name to that dot slash is UI5.demo. That means you are naming this path as UI5.demo. If you want to refer anything anywhere to the web app folder, you can tell the UI5 framework that UI5.demo. That means you are mentioning this path, you are naming this path to UI5 that you can give any name, UI5.demo. Okay, now wherever you refer UI5.demo, it refers to current folder. What is that current folder with respect to HTML? Web app. Now, what I want to do, I want to tell the framework that it is available in web app, UI5.demo. View name dot, it is inside web app, I have view folder. Inside that I have my app, UI5.demo.view.app. Now, if I load it, what will happen? See. So it displays my hello world, from which it is displaying from now my view part. If I change it to hello world, hello new world. Okay, now if I run it, it is picking my XML view now. It is not, there is no any content hello world text anywhere in the index.html. Now that means I linked my XML view and my index.html. Did you get that? Are you clear with this resource roots?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now this is my, now I linked my XML view on my index.html. Now I am going to create one more folder. That is controller part. Okay. New folder. I am going to create controller folder. And here I will create one more controller. Controller is nothing but a .js file. That's it. It has an extension just like a view.xml. For controller, it has extension. It is of type JavaScript, so it has an extension controller.js. Controller.js. Prefix can be anything. Better to give the same name as view. So new file app dot controller.js. I'm mentioning it here. Now what I want to do, what the controller do, it handles the business logic. So just to do that, I am adding one more button over here. Button text. I am giving click me or something. Text as a click me, and I am adding one event on press button. You can do any name, that is user defined. Is my function name. This event we will call shortly as event. Event, you have to call it as event only because it's a terminology. Button click, button text is click, press is unpress. Now whenever you click on this button, you want to do something. That logic, whenever you click on that button, you have to write that logic only inside the controller. So just like similar to the view, whatever we have this predefined namespaces, all these things, we have similarly for controller also. I want to take that also. I want to show that also. Here, this is the basic controller syntax. Just like a view, we have the basic syntax for controller also. So I am going to, when you create a project in WebID, automatically all the basic configurations will be created automatically. But here we are doing manually step by step. That's why I have to copy all these things. Okay. So what is this sap.ui.core.mvc? Again the same. When you go to this sap.ui.core.mvc, where is that? This is the namespace. Earlier I referred to XML view part. Now I am referring it to controller part. That's it. Okay, sap.ui.core.mvc controller. This module, I told you I will talk about module later. This is the module. If you want to use this control in your controller, you have to use this part. Okay, so dot will, instead of dot in XML we use dot. in a JavaScript use slashes. So that's what we are calling it here, sap.ui.code.controller. That means you are going to, because this is your controller, you have your controller should extend from the standard controller. Here also it is your view. This view should come from the standard view. That's why I mentioned view here, controller here. Now what I am doing it here, controller.extend. So here you should give your controller name. What is your controller name? App.controller. But you should give with the path. So that what is that path? UI5.demo.contro controller.app. That means your controller is being extended from standard controller, because standard controller has some basic features. So your controller also should get that feature. That's why I'm extending this. What is this controller? This controller, and this is the alias name for that. You are going to use, you can use C also. Doesn't matter. If you use C here, you can use same name here. And the sequence also matters. Okay. Actually, we use the same. You can use C also, A also, whatever you recommend, but you have to follow the best coding practices. That's why I'm using the same standard controller name. Okay, extend. Now inside that, what we are going to write, we'll see. Now, guess what? So basic syntax, and inside that we are going to write this one. See here, they have used their demo kit path. I used our own path. Okay. Now what we are going to do inside this, going to implement my function. I have defined one function in XML. On press button. What I am going to do, I want to on press button. This is a function. Okay. And here curly brace. This is a function, just function. And whatever I'm going to display some alert. Okay, alert. I am from controller. Okay. Just I am writing one text here. But web ID will not allow writing native JavaScript. You have to use, that's why it is giving an alert. Error alert. Okay. I will tell you that what is that. Okay. Now what I have done, now let us see what happens. I will run it. Now I got the button also. Whenever I click on it, nothing happens. That alert is not coming. So initially you link the index.html and the view, but there is no link between the controller and the view. You have to establish the connection between the view and the controller. How do you establish that? In a sense, we have one standard attribute that is a property of that controller view. We have this path, controller name. So whenever you go to the XML view, you can add it anywhere. That is not at the top or bottom, but best practice is to mention at the top here. Now, what is your path to your controller? UI5.demo. UI5.demo, right? What is my index.html contains? UI5.demo. You have to copy this, and you have to use the same namespace here. UI5.demo.controller.app. You can ignore .controller.js because you have mentioned it is a controller name. Okay. You can use beautify. It will properly. It will beautify. Now we will see what happens. I am running it again. Click. It gives me alert. I am from controller. That means now you have linked your index.html to view to controller. And you see this. Whenever you keep a breakpoint over here. Oh, okay. Whenever I click on it, from XML view, it is getting called, and here the alert is getting displayed. See, this is the debugger. Okay. So this button got triggered using this event. Press is the event, and this is the event handler. So this is the implementation of it. Okay. Now you don't use that one, so I'm going to use the standard UI5 alert. You don't use this. So when you use standard SAP UI5 related controls, it won't give the error here. So I will give from controller. So if I execute it, Now what will happen, we'll see. It will give the toast message. So toast message is nothing, this one. I am from controller instead of alert. Now because it is specific to UI5, so I use this one. So if you want to use this message toast, what you do? If you want to use here also, you can add it. So this is like this. What you have to do? You have to load it as a module. How you load your module? Instead of dots, you have to use slashes. And you have to provide the alias name. What is that? You can provide any name, but I copy the same name, or else I will change it.